So here, I was looking at this TDI from yesterday and just seeing it hold this sell zone really nice. So when I looked at it, I was like, same boat as you, short biased, everything looks good, except I didn't love the 800 EMA. What did you see when you saw this blue 800 EMA come across the screen? How did you?
Well, see, I didn't like it, and I've known that I've took trades like that in the past, and the price action has just chopped around. So that was another reason why I graded it what I did, was because I didn't like that 100. I didn't like the EMAs not being in full trend.
That makes sense to me. And something that I like to do in situations like this is kind of use it as structure. So I saw it bounce here really hard, came to it again, bounced, but not as hard. So now I was looking and seeing that we were kind of moving lower. And as we came back through it and actually pushed down, that to me made me see the potential to then come back and retest it and use it now as resistance to come lower. Support that was support has now become resistance. Did you see that as well?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So now I'm sorry to cut you off, but I want to go back to one other thing you said. It's important. The zone you said, I wanted to draw this in. This comes in from Monday into Tuesday. Is this the same zone that you had drawn? I'm going to draw it right now with this divergence, because I saw price action fall into the 800.
Yeah, I did see that. And see, when I see it, well, I saw mine on, you saw that on the 15-minute?
Yes, I saw it on the 15-minute.
Well, see,
yes.
Then I went to the 1 hour after I saw that zone, and I could draw that zone further back into around the 3rd of June.
So you saw it going back even further?
Yes.
Even
so when
further.
it was making its initial move up, then it pulled back to create that zone, but it never broke on the
right here.
And then it continued.
Look at that right there.
Yeah, and then it continued right up. So I knew
that's a really good observation.
Yeah. And I always know if I go further to my left, I'm going to see another zone like that. And it's interesting.
Even here, you get that same idea where it's broken, tried to be broken, can't, finally gets through, retest as support. It's just the opposite. Here, resistance then becomes support, just as support today became resistance. You know what I mean? So it's interesting using that zone. Now, it's cool when we can see that overlap from the 3rd back into now the 9th, but I didn't go back as far as you. So I was only using this zone down here, and that really gave me my take profit idea coming off the 50 EMA here this morning. So I saw my TDI in the sell zone, I saw my EMAs coming into the downtrend, higher time frames are short biased, and now I have somewhat of a target down here. So what did you grade this trade, A, B, or C?
I graded it a B setup, but I actually risked it on a C setup. So it was the risk of a C setup, although I sized down, although it was a B setup.
Why did you size down?
I sized down because I didn't like the EMAs. I didn't like that it was still in the Asia range, but I liked the overall downtrend. So that's why I didn't give it a C setup. But I risked it downsized because of the Asia range and because of the EMAs.
That makes sense. So I'm going to draw the Asian range just so everybody watching can see what you're talking about. So for everybody that's new and maybe you don't trade with us, we draw a box around the first 8 hours of the day. Here's the changeover of day, and then here's 1 a.m. That's the Asian session. And here, not only are you still trading inside it, which like Lindsay said is a reason to be a little cautious, but also if you measure this range, I don't know if you did or not, Lindsay, but this range is pretty big. It's pretty big. For this pair, I would let it go to like 70, 80. It's right there at that 71, 72 pips mark. Yeah. So now in this situation, and I think we've talked about this a lot before, you are in the Asian range. You can read that the EMAs can be better, but there's also still risk reward when you got the D1 entry. And if you waited, that risk reward got even better. And I'm going to show you that on the 1 minute. But did you kind of say to yourself, because I want you to drive this home to everybody, even though I'm in the Asian range, even though the EMAs could be better, did you say, look, there's still risk reward here and I still want to get a piece of this down to at least the low of day area?
That's why I basically because I measured it to the Asia low, and I knew that I could go over my 1 to 2 on it. So that's why I took it. If I couldn't have got that, I wouldn't have entered it. But I knew that I could take down to the row and get, about 3R.
So now I'm same boat. Literally, you and I, it was funny because we weren't even talking. I guess we should have said that at the beginning of this video. You and I weren't even active in the group chat together, but we were both looking at the same trade because this was one of those ones today where there was nothing else. There was no other clean, perfect liquid 50, perfect EMA, almost perfect EMA action. So now when we take it to the 1 minute, this is the way that I saw it. I think it was very, very solid. And you and I have talked about this a lot, where you have your divergence set, you know where your top is. You know if it breaks the top of that structure, this is beat, this is done. But it actually ends up making what we love to see, which is a lower high off the original divergence high. Did you get in right here on that break after that lower high, or did you wait?
No, I waited.
Okay, yeah, me too. So let me hit play here and we'll play it forward. So I just let it sit because I knew that there was still potential for it to come lower if it was going to set up and actually come through the 50 EMA for me. And I also wanted to see this, that L50 in the sell zone. I wanted that to come lower than where it was up here.
Yep.
So let me keep moving here. And right there, whoops. Right there. Yep. So it comes back up one candle through, it cannot hold, which is now another lower high, right? And as soon as it came through the 50 there, that was where I took my entry right here. About the same thing for you? It's so funny. Same exact timing. We were both looking at it the same way. And
I did see the first lower high, and I was like, and I thought, no, Lindsay, you always wait usually till the liquid 50's in the sell zone. And at the first lower high, it wasn't. So I thought, I knew, like you, I could still get good risk reward if I just waited.
Yep, exactly.
And that would be a more safer entry for me, I felt.
So how do you then decipher if you, like, what kept you from clicking sell here or clicking sell here? Were you looking for this TDI cross? Were you looking for something, like, was there anything specific you were looking for?
See, I wanted to, like what you said, the liquid 50 to come into the sell zone is usually my trigger. Sometimes. So
once, good.
Sometimes though, I do, if I see that the liquid 50 and the RSI and trend line are falling on like that, the first lower high, but I felt there that the very first lower high was very choppy today.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but I just felt that was quite choppy there.
No, I agree.
So I was very hesitant there, and I just had patience for myself today. And I thought, Lindsay, it would be a safer entry for you if you just wait till the liquid 50 comes into the sell zone and holds it.
Just show that patience. And then even in here, in that choppiness, if you blow up the TDI, I didn't see this before, but now I'm seeing it now. There's actually, look, a little bit more bearish divergence rate in there. Yeah. Yep. Just giving you a little bit more, hey, pay attention, this could come back down. And then when it does push, like I said, this is where I think a lot of people will jump. They'll get in here and they'll be aggressive. And that's, in this case, it worked out for you. But I think if you can show the restraint like you did to say, show me one more time that you're going to hold this structure. Once you get the entry here, I want to know, did you trust this as your stop, or did you think it could come back up and test that? Did you go with the high before that?
No, I went with the new that one there. Yep.
Right here.
Yeah.
So you had a better risk reward setup than me, because I gave it that, but I also gave it a little bit more space. I had about a 13 pip stop in. What was yours?
No, mine was about 10.
Nice. So pretty close.
Including my spreads, yeah.
Pretty close. And what I think we have to mention, because we've been spending a lot of time studying, notice on the 15 minute, before the entry, the RSI was already under the trend line. Did you see that too?
Yeah.
That was, like, I think one of the pieces of this setup that I was like, I know I'm already up on the week, but I don't know if I want to miss this, because that's a good sign, you know?
And I like also on the 15 that the 15-minute candle before our entry had actually closed back under 21.
Oh yeah, that was very solid. That made me feel really good, because really, you know just as well as I do, this little doji in here off the 21 right there, that sometimes leads to a big bullish candle, right? So once we didn't see that, then I was like, okay, maybe this isn't moving up. You know what I mean? Maybe there is something kicking this in. And then you really have to fall back. And this is what you and I have done really well. We pat ourselves on the back, is we back up for a second and we say, okay, wait a minute. I see the signal. I've got the D1. This is part of my edge. Where am I going to see this at the end of the day? And I'm going to say, well, there was the money. Where was the money? Well, look at the L50, look at the EMAs. More likely than not, this is coming short. This is coming lower. So at that point, with the signal, with the bias, and with as many things as possible in your favor, you grade the trade and you put the risk on. Once you put the risk on, did yours, I mean, I'm assuming it moved quickly like mine did. It was pain-free, very quickly, 45 minutes, an hour, very quick, as you can see, it drops right into profit. How did you close the trade? Because basically what I did was, as soon as we got down towards low of day right here in that resistance zone back here on Tuesday, as soon as we got to there, I was up 2R, I was done.